Welcome to Temet, Privacy First AI app. The first thing I wanted to mention is if you want to have a truly privacy first experience, you should install Temet and Olama. So you just go to this website, olama.com, and follow the instructions here to download and install Olama in your own OS. As soon as you install Olama, you can just open Temet and set everything up. Basically, this is where you're going to do the model setup. So you can come over here and get models, select a model over here. I have a few on my machine already, so I just add them to Temet. I'll just add a few of them right now. But you might look at something like this where you need to download the model first. So just click to download them and should take a minute or so, depending on the model. And of course, it's going to say if the model is going to work properly or not on your computer. You can also add them manually here. This is just a list with the most interesting models at the moment, but you can add any model that you'll find on the Olama listing. Or if you know what I'm talking about, you can also use Hugging Face and download Hugging Face models here as well. As soon as you have the models localized in your computer and downloaded, you can just click on the model setup and you're going to select the default language models that you're going to use. Now, Temet has three modes. It has the chat mode, it has the files mode, which is chat plus interacting with files under a folder that you select or some other assets. And you have the agentic one or the agent mode, where you have some other features going on, some other tools like file creation and file editing. You can also have web searching, among some other features. For the embedding one, uh, Temet comes with an embedding model. You can download any other particular embedding model if you want. Embedding is just a model that is going to get all the files in a folder and make them very quickly accessible by the model. This is what embedding is. And also, if you rely heavily on image files inside these folders, you can also download a vision model. So we're going to see a few examples here as well, like these ones have vision support. So you can just get some of those and then say, yes, I want to use visual models to read and understand the images that are inside the folders. So just follow the instructions here. As soon as you have this in place and you select which models should be the default ones, you can start having chats here. So I'm just going to open a new chat. And as you can see here, I have the chat mode, files mode, or agent mode. You can change this anytime you want on the same chat. So I can start in chat mode and then I can change to files mode and then change again to agent and so on and so forth. And as you can see here, it has the default, but for any particular chat, you can select a different model here. So I can just come over here and say, hi there. And then the model is going to process it and then reply back. And other files, what you're going to do, I created a folder here already and I've set it up on Temet. So if we click here, you're going to see the folder with the journal with two entries here. And this is the content of the file. These are .md files, but they can be txt. There's an array of files that can be read here. So the first thing is, if I want to interact with this particular folder, I have to come over here and select the folder. and then I can ask a particular question like, so as you can see, you can interact with the files here straight up. And if we change to agent, it can search online. I'll show this in a second. But also I can say, hey, I need to create a new entry on my journal. Let's say that that's the case. I'm going to take the opportunity to showcase the voice feature. So I can come over here and say, hi there, I needed to create a new entry on my journal. So it's a new file with the same timestamp file name that I'm using for the 3rd of January 2026. And the entry should be that today I saw my girlfriend. So now process what I said, it automatically interrupts based on silence, and is also going to dictate later if there are any text replies. The interaction is going to be back and forth until I click on stop here, or the interaction as a recording that I didn't speak anything. So after there's a blank recording coming from my side, it's going to automatically stop the back and forth. So let's have a look at the processing of the file here. So there you go. You have like a selection of the destination folder. If you have more than one, you can change the file name here if something is off. And you can also change the entry here as well. In my case, I want to appropriate. Thank you so much for the support. That is exactly what I needed. Because the new entry is going to reindex the folder, there's a new file there already. Let's have a look here. So now there's this one. Today I saw my girlfriend. Yeah, and this is blue right now because it's going to dictate back this particular entry here.
You're very welcome. I'm happy I could help. If you need anything else, whether it's more journal entries or something else entirely, just let me know.
Now I purposefully stopped for 5 seconds, so now you can see that the green stopped, which means that it knows that the interaction back and forth ended. Yeah, so this is just a brief demo here about this particular functionality. So let me dive a little bit deeper and showcase some nuances that Temet has. The first one is, let's say that I made some other changes to other files on the folder. So what I can do is I can just click here and this is going to index the folder for me. So everything is fresh, like the database that is vectorized. So the agent and the files mode can use is updated. So you can just click here and it's going to do its thing. And two other features that might be interesting here. Number one is the context. As you can see, there are my folders shared with me, which I'm gonna mention in a second, and the external sources. So what are these external sources? So if you come here under settings, you're gonna see that I have external sources here. And I can add either a website as an external source. I can add an API that I can connect to a particular chat there, or I can add an MCP. The web search here is also something that we saw previously. You have to create a free API token for either Brave or Tavili. These are the ones that we're supporting at the moment. And you just paste the API here. And now you can give web search capabilities for your agent. It is for agent only. Under the model setup, you can use OpenAI API key, so Anthropic, Grok, and Mistral. These are not privacy first. You're going to have your content being processed somewhere else, and you're going to require internet connection if you use any of those. But if you're using just Solana, you should stay everything in your computer. And once you have the models downloaded, you can just disconnect the computer from the internet. If you have Cloud Code, you can connect your Cloud Code and use it as a model here. As you can see here, you have now Cloud Code as an option. And this is what I wanted to mention, the peer-to-peer access here. So this is your peer-to-peer ID. And whenever you have shared folders, this is what you're going to be using. I'm going to showcase this in a second. Just to finish off the settings, over here you have some voice and language setup. So you can change the entire language of the entire app here. The voice that comes with your computer is the one that Temet is going to use by default. I highly recommend, if you have the memory bandwidth, to install the Neural Voice feature. What you just heard comes from the Neural Voice, so it's much better, it's less janky than the one that usually comes with the OS. And over here is your standard base prompt, which is an instruction that you pass to the chat or to the agent saying what it should be primed to be. This is system-wide. And also you can have some permanent memory that is going to be shared across everything. And this is the entire setup for it. So let's talk about the P2P sharing capabilities here. So let's say that I want to share my journal with someone. Let's say that I have some journal for medical records and I want to share this with my doctor. So the first thing is my doctor has to also have Temet on their computer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here on share. So now there's a two-way sharing secret that you have to have here. The first step is your doctor is going to send his Temet ID, the one that I just showed on settings. It's going to send it securely, any means that you think is secure enough to send this Temet ID. So now you're going to paste the person's Temet ID here. Then you're going to say if this person can view only or if the person can edit the files, and then you grant access. You can have multiple people accessing the same folder. As soon as you grant access, you're going to be shown a piece of code. So it's an invite code block. You're going to copy that, and then you're going to do the second leg or the second step, which is sending this new generated invite back to your doctor and say like, there you go. This is the invite that I'm sending you so you can have access to my folder. So now on your doctor's Temet, they're going to click on shared with me and create a new one. They're going to paste this block of code that was generated. They're going to just give the folder a name that is identifiable just to them. That's how they can organize things. And they're also going to set up where this folder should be saved on their computer. As soon as you have that, your doctor in this case is just going to click on start sync, and then it's going to be listed under his share with me here. What happens then is this share with me folders can also be used here under the context for the chat or files or agent mode. And anytime there are changes to the files, they are going to sync between them. So if I make any changes to this file, it is going to automatically sync to my doctor's shared with me folder, and vice versa. If my doctor's makes any changes on those files there, they're gonna sync with my folders here on this one, in this case, the journal. This doesn't go to the cloud. This is your computer talking directly to that person's computer and vice versa. Of course, you need to be online, both of you, to be able to have this synchronization happening. But this is just one of the features to make even that as private as possible. So this is everything that I had for you today. I hope you can explore, you can find some very inventive ways to use Temet, and I'll see you next time.